Hi, my name is Jem Deduccio and I love history. I love history so much I've written a whole bunch of books on the topic, but I also love video games. So anything that can combine those two together holds a special place in my heart, to be honest. And Assassin's Creed scratches that itch for me. It's been around for 10 years. The very first one was set in the Crusader states, in the medieval period, the time of Richard the Lionheart. And I remember for the first time walking through the streets of Acre, where you could see the sights, you could hear the people talking around you, and you could feel that you could almost smell the spices. It was a very immersive experience, and therefore I would argue a very good form of entertainment. But now, we come to Assassin's Creed Origins, 10 years on from the very first game, and a chance for Ubisoft, the creators, to reboot the series. It shows you how the assassins were formed. Now, actually the real assassins were medieval, but they've taken it all the way back to the era of ancient Egypt. Now, to be precise, it's not specifically ancient Egypt, it's actually the Ptolemaic era where we've got Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, so it's at the very end of the civilization of Egypt, but it's a great place to set a game. Assassin's Creed's Origins, then, is an attempt to return to the basics. Assassin's Creed itself is now 10 years old and took you to the medieval era. It reached its high point with the trilogy based on Assassin's Creed 2 that took you to the Renaissance era, and hit another high point with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. But by now, we had many Assassin's Creeds, sometimes multiple games coming out in the same year, and it was getting confusing, and there was definitely a dip in quality, reaching the absolute nadir of Assassin's Creed Unity, which when it first came out was barely playable. The most recent Assassin's Creed was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which had taken you all the way to Victorian London, a long way from the origins of the Middle Ages, and what happens with Assassin's Creed Origins is it takes you back to ancient Egypt. To try something different, reset if you like. Combat is different. Looking at various people's comments online, not everybody likes it. I'm still getting used to it. I'm not entirely convinced it's an improvement. There's also an element of roleplay to it, which has led to some grinding. Now, quite often in roleplay games, you might go to an area where you're under-equipped, but you still have a chance. You still might be able to get the person, but weirdly in this, you aren't able to assassinate certain targets if you're not a certain level, as if your weapons don't work at all. I'm not in love with that. I do like the sense of freedom. However, you get to stalk victims, you get to search areas, you get to have fights with hippos, for heaven's sakes. So there's plenty of stuff to be done in Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed hasn't always been just a game alone. Its other unique selling point is it's a historical holiday, whether it's taking you to Istanbul at the time of the Ottoman Sultans or a smoky Victorian London. Here we've got ancient Egypt, and as you can see from these screenshots, it's utterly gorgeous and really brings you into the world. So, do you buy it? I guess the answer to that is how much do you like role-play assassin games set in a historical setting? It's good. I don't think it's perhaps the best Assassin's Creed out there, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I want to say to Ubisoft, well done. It has an element of microtransactions. A lot of these triple platinum games are now using that, which I find deeply annoying, but it doesn't get in the way. You can absolutely play the whole game without having to spend extra money, but my argument is you spend £45 on a game, you should get the game. But it looks gorgeous, it has more pluses than minuses for sure, and come on, if you want to parkour your way up a pyramid, this is the only game you can do that in.